They say the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space. A magnificent serpent of stone stretching across mountains and deserts, a testament to human ingenuity. But what if this legend is built on a foundation of something far darker? What if every stone in this wall is cemented with the tears and blood of 1,000,000 forgotten souls? Welcome to the hidden past. The Great Wall is not one wall, but a network of fortifications built over centuries. But its most ambitious and brutal chapter began in the 3rd century BC, under the command of one of history's most formidable figures, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. He was a man who unified a nation, standardized its writing, and created a legacy of power. But power, as we know, often comes at a staggering cost. The emperor had a vision, an impenetrable barrier to protect his new empire from the nomadic horsemen of the north. To achieve this, he mobilized a workforce of unprecedented scale. Soldiers, peasants, scholars, and criminals, hundreds of thousands of them, were conscripted and marched to the desolate northern frontiers. They were told it was for the glory of the empire. They were promised a place in history. What they found was a living nightmare. Imagine the scene: freezing winters, scorching summers. The terrain was relentless: jagged mountains, unforgiving deserts. There were no modern tools, no heavy machinery. Every massive stone was quarried by hand. Every bucket of earth was carried on a worker's breaking back. The scale of the labor was simply inhuman. Men worked from dawn until dusk, fueled by meager rations of grain, their bodies withering under the strain. The foremen were brutal, enforcing the emperor's will with whips and threats. A moment of rest could be seen as defiance. A stumble could mean a fatal fall. Disease ran rampant through the camp's dysentery, scurvy, exhaustion. For the workers, there was no escape. This wasn't a job, it was a death sentence. The local legends call the Great Wall the longest cemetery on Earth, and for good reason. It is estimated that as many as 400,000 people died during the construction of the Qin Dynasty's section alone. Think about that number. That's a city of the dead, swallowed by the very structure they were forced to build. Folklore tells us that the bodies of the dead workers were not given proper burials. Instead, they were simply interred within the wall itself, their bones becoming part of the foundation. A chilling, practical solution to a gruesome problem. While there's little direct archaeological evidence to prove bodies were used as literal filler, the legend persists for a reason. It speaks to a profound truth. The wall was built on a landscape of human suffering. Each stone represents a life cut short, a family torn apart, a future erased. The souls of these workers are said to still wander the battlements, their whispers carried on the wind a constant, chilling reminder of the wall's true cost. Some say their stories were lost to time, others believe they were intentionally erased, a dark secret buried to protect a national symbol. After the fall of the Qin Dynasty, subsequent dynasties, like the Han and most notably the Ming, continued the work. For over 2,000 years, the wall was expanded, rebuilt, and reinforced. And with each new phase of construction, the cycle of suffering repeated. Millions more were sent to the frontiers, families were once again shattered, and countless lives were sacrificed for this colossal monument to fear and ambition. The Ming Dynasty, in the 14th to 17th centuries, was responsible for the most famous and well-preserved sections of the wall we see today. They perfected the brick and stone construction, building the iconic watchtowers that dot the landscape. But even with more advanced techniques, the human toll remained immense. Soldiers stationed at the wall faced constant threats, not just from invaders, but from the crushing loneliness and harsh conditions. For them, the wall was a prison, a line between their world and an unknown, hostile land. Their letters home, when they exist, are filled with despair, a longing for a life they would likely never see again. Today, millions of tourists walk along the Great Wall. They marvel at its scale, they take photographs, they soak in the breathtaking views. It stands as a symbol of China's strength, endurance, and rich history. But as we walk on these ancient stones, are we treading on history or are we treading on graves? The wall wasn't just built by an emperor's decree. It was built by the hands of ordinary people whose names we'll never know, whose stories were silenced by the sheer scale of the project. It forces us to ask a difficult question. What is the price of glory? How many lives are worth sacrificing for a legacy? The Great Wall is a masterpiece of engineering, yes. But it is also a monument to the forgotten, a silent testament to the immense human cost of one man's ambition and an empire's fear. History has a strange way of burying its darkest truths beneath its grandest achievements. The Great Wall protects a nation's borders, but it also holds its deepest secret. A secret written not in ink, but in bone and blood. The next time you see its image, look beyond the grandeur. Listen closely, and you might just hear the echoes of the millions who died building a legend. If you love the stories our world tried to forget, subscribe for more tales from the hidden past. Thank you for watching.